Well, I think we all know the history of northeastern Kenya, where we had a lot of inter-clan conflicts due to either pastures or land or just. And as a result, this book is really, it captures the moment in history of Wajir, especially the history between the various clans that have lived in Wajir for the past, for the past 100 years or so, and it captures the moments, it captures the events that took place during that, dark period when we had a very, serious inter-clan warfare in Wajir.
From the outset, Nuria exposed us to the important work that had been done in Wajir and introduced me to Deka Ibrahim, a powerful voice in Nuria's life and in the initiatives they pursued together. The two of them beautifully demonstrated and reinforced my strong belief that peace resides from within, that given the strong and proper support and resources, in this case for the women and youth passionate about bringing peace to Wajir, the change towards a more peaceful society must come from within. In her book, Forced by Fate and Driven by Faith, Nuria has woven the complexities of developing and supporting a locally driven, locally owned peace-building process with her unique storytelling approach, giving the readers a wonderful chance to not only learn about a unique process that can be drawn from and utilized in contexts all over the world, but also to gain a deep understanding and feel for the people of Wajir.
I think the book is an addition to some of the materials out there for peace building, because there's a lot of myth again about African women, that we tell a lot of folklores. A lot of our work is based on fireside story, that Nuria has boldly written this book about her experience with peace building is something that I think the future generation of peace builders in Kenya and Africa needs to read. But I also think it's going to inform some of the strategies of peace building at the level of the UN and at governmental level.
Most people involved in peace building are either people who have knowledge which they have acquired from elsewhere, maybe through some research, and then they are involved in peace building in some community. But what makes her stand out is the fact that she comes from the area that is Wajir, and that is the area she knows better, and she was very much involved in the peace process. It is a book that will be very, very useful to the government in understanding the causes of some of these conflicts, and also the methods of dealing with these conflicts.
Nuria has written there, from the few times I met her, this is a real life story that has happened. And it is just a real life story that has been put in the book that we need to. So this is something that can be used as a cross-cutting, a book that can be used as a cross-cutting for peace development, any peace program, any peace resolution. You can use it because it is in chapters. When we started, how it started, how to intervene, how women intervened, how all these things. So it can be used. So when a conflict is at this initial stage, there is a place where we can borrow and read and then borrow ideas from there. When the conflict is another stage, then there is that. So the book is very, very simple, and knowing how it was when she was starting and the idea she had, because we even sat together and she also told me how it was, because I asked her how do you want it to be. This will be a very important book that is going to guide people who are working on peace practitioners. I am saying this is a book not to keep down. It's not a book to be kept in the shelves. It's a book that will be referring on. You'll read, but you'll continue reading. It's so sweet, and you can't. It's just like a story that you like to reread it every now and then.
It is a book that I think is very important to any serious person who is talking about security, especially at that level.
it's good that she's leaving a legacy for the younger generation and future generation, so that we learn from the past mistakes as Kenyans.
She's a mentor to me. She's a sister. She has been mentoring me up to date. We have worked together in several areas in terms of her mentoring me through this process of peace building. So I am really excited that one of us, a lady, a woman, a Somali woman again, that has come up with such a book, which is very captivating and very important for our community. And especially it is going to encourage us as the ladies, the young ladies, the older ladies, and the people of northern Kenya in terms of trying to learn from the process. My sister Nuria, the author of the book, they have come through up to where she has come.
One thing that drew me to her was her experience in peace building. Nuria's work with Wajir. At that time, if I knew of that work with her and Deka Abdi, but then I got to know Nuria more closely. And just sitting next to her and listening to her talk about her experience in the Wajir peace process is something that has always amazed me. Because there's a lot of stereotypes around Muslim women, and people think that they just should be in the house, but Nuria comes to peace building with that wealth of experience that no one can really understand.
She truly captures how the peace that resided within Wajir in the midst of violent conflict could be manifest and ultimately rise up to counter the violence and despair that destroyed so many lives in that community. This book spans the needs of academia and the peace-building practitioner in unique and accessible ways that ensures that the reader comes away not only with a greater understanding of what peace-building can actually look like, but also celebrates the true heroes of peace, the normal citizens who take great risks to turn violence into peace.
This is now going to be the first thing she did, but her other success which we are expecting and we are trying also to support her is the Peace University. We are really looking up to that university, because once we get that university and knowing the people who are behind that university, of course it's going to do a lot of work. It's going to be even an international university where people from outside Kenya, international, from America, everywhere will come to learn with.